Hey guys, Tinker Taylor here today, bringing you another day of the A to Z build challenge. Now, before I get into the challenge rules and you know, building and casting and whatnot, I do just want to start off by apologizing for missing out on yesterday's build. So, I've meant to do the build earlier, 2 days ago, earlier in the day, and I didn't. Things came up and I had to take care of them and whatnot, and then I ended up going out with a friend who I haven't seen in a very long time, and I got back very late, and I was like, I'll build for like a couple of hours, and then I'll go to bed, then I'll get up early, and I'll be on time, and it'll be fine. And when I got home, I went straight to bed. So I was like, fine, if I go straight to bed, then I can get up early and build it and record it, and maybe it'll be a little bit late, but it'll be fine. Like, we'll get it done. And what happened was, my game crashed. I won't lie to you guys, I took a little break and went to go read and ended up reading for 4 hours, and in that time I kept my game open, I kept OBS open, and it didn't like that. It did not like it at all, so I was like, fine, I'll just do the video. I'll just put it out as is and explain the whole situation. The file got corrupted, so now I can't even share the video, so I've had to unfortunately skip over that one. And I'm really, really sorry about that. I was really enjoying it. So it was going to be a vineyard. I still have the build, so I guess I could go in and like finish the build and show you guys at some point later. But yeah, the build died a little bit. I lost maybe 5 minutes worth of progress, which is so something I'm really, really grateful for. That was only 5 minutes, but yeah, it was already late in the day, and I was like, I can't. I'm just going to edit the video, and then yeah, you know the rest. I couldn't edit the video. So unfortunately, I've had to skip that one, and I'm really sad about it because I was really, really enjoying the build. Maybe I'll upload the build when I'm finished, although it is something that, like, you kind of have to have CC to see it, and I don't like that. But long story short, there is a build, it does exist, I just don't know how to share. I can open the file, and I can, I can look at it, I can, what's the when you record a video and then you open it on your computer, the little traffic cone, that one, yeah, I can open it on that, but when I try and put it into DaVinci, it just won't pop up, it won't exist, it won't show up, and I spent like maybe 10 minutes, I know 10 minutes isn't long, but again, I was very frustrated and upset, and I was like, can we get this, no, okay, cool, I'm going to bed then. Because yeah, it was a little bit later as well yesterday, so unfortunately we've had to skip a video, which again, I'm so sorry guys. Like it's one of those things where like I could have made a few different decisions and avoided all of this, but unfortunately I didn't make those decisions, and so now yeah, there is that kind of issue. But you know, also at the end of the day, issues will arise, issues will happen whether I like it or not, so, you know, it's a bit of both, bit of my fault and a bit of just issues happening. But I did get today's build done. I am a little bit late with it. By the time you see this, it'll probably be 3 hours late, but at this point, better late than never, so yeah, you will get this build. It is already an hour and a half late as of time of recording, but yeah, like I say 3 hours because A, I've got to record this video, but then B, I have to upload it. And I'm just not very pleased with how it's turned out, but I'm sure you guys understand. But yeah, the A to Z challenge, if you've never heard of it before, is a challenge that I came up with a few years back, where each week you get a new letter, and you do a build or cast creation based on that letter. When I originally created it, it was just a build challenge, but I have since opened it to casts, so if you are interested and you're a cast creator, definitely feel free in getting involved as well. There's really only one rule, which is no casts. No, that's not, no CC, sorry, wrong C word. No CC, no custom content. There is another, like, kind of loose rule, but it's, that you don't have to participate in every week. It's not really a rule, more like a if you don't want to, then don't sort of thing. So, yeah, if you want to get involved, absolutely feel free in getting involved. Like I said, the challenge is each week you get a new letter. So if you feel like you are comfortable in doing a build a week, then absolutely get involved. And also keep in mind, when I say build, just autofill in CAS if you are a CAS creator. But yeah, if you want to do a build a week, that's absolutely fine. But if you want to, or A, if you want to, but B, if you can't afford the time to do one a week and you need extra time to do more, absolutely feel free in participating in as little or as many as you like. It's really supposed to be a stress-free kind of situation. I came up with this challenge because I wanted to get outside my comfort zone and build things I have never really done before. I don't think I've ever done a wedding venue, and this one, it's alright. Not gonna lie, I was a little rushed towards the end because I was just like, I want to get this over and done with. And I've gone over the time limit I set aside for myself. And I probably could have spent half the time, like, there was a few things that I did that I was just really stressing and worrying over. I didn't really need to. But yeah, in the end, I'm pretty happy with how it turned out. If you've made a wedding venue before, let me know what you think about it, or if you've been to a wedding venue. I'm actually going to a wedding, I think 2 weddings this year. I've been to 3 in my entire life. I remember 1. What's the other one? The other day I was thinking, actually no, I remember 2 of them. I was going to say, I was remembering that I went to an extra one and it popped into my head, but that's the latest one that I went to. And I don't remember it for some reason. No, it was really good. I actually enjoyed that particular wedding as well. The first one, I was probably an infant, so I don't know if you'd count that. I actually could not tell you how old I was, but it was... maybe maximum 4 years old, I would say. So, yeah, that was the first wedding I've been to, and then I've been to 2 since, and I've got one in April and I've got one in December, so I'll get to see some more wedding venues. I have already kind of seen what one of them's going to look like. The other, I have no idea, because one of them I'm a little bit more involved in, the other one I'm a guest. So I mean, I'm a guest in both, but like I'm just a guest in the second one, which is actually a-okay for me because wedding stuff is stressful. If I ever get married, I am definitely getting a wedding planner so that I don't have to stress about a lot of things. Because I'm just someone who doesn't like stress in my life. I don't know about you guys, but it's just something I don't particularly enjoy. I like reducing my stress, which is kind of funny because I'm someone who thrives on stress and it motivates me, but to a degree. I like X amount of stress, and then the rest you can just keep that away from me. Like, for example, a timeline. Not a timeline, a deadline. That is a stress point. Like, people are going to be like, oh, I've got to get this stuff done by this timeline. And, that is sort of mildly stressful. But for me, I find it motivating and enjoyable, I guess. I don't know. It's something that, okay, I have to do this by this time and this date. And even by this hour, when I do these videos, sometimes it is like, okay, I've got to get this done before, let's say, midday, because if I don't, then I will be late in uploading the video, and then it won't be, like, uploaded and, like, settled. Definitely uploaded and settled on the YouTubes. So, yeah, I don't know, I'm good with, like, everyday stress. I think that's what I thrive on. I thrive on everyday stress. So if you've got, like, something that you need to be done, or, like, some people find cooking dinner really stressful and like, oh, I've got to time everything, but for me, I like that. I like being like, okay, I've got to do this and then I've got to do that, and I do cook with one of my roommates. I do live with a bajillion people, but yeah, one of them I do cook with, and makes it a lot easier. But also, like, when I'm cooking something that I know how to cook and that Onion doesn't, Onion is my roommate, by the way, not the food that I'm cooking. I mean, sometimes I'm cooking the food, Onion, but my roommate, Onion. What was I saying? Oh yeah, sometimes I'll be like, I want to cook this, and Onion's never cooked it before, so I'll have to, like, kind of, not take over the whole kitchen, but be doing my section of what I do, and then also be helping Onion out with what he's doing. And, some people would be like, that's super stressful, I'd just rather do it myself. And I get that. I totally get that. And if you prefer to cook on your own, then, absolutely go for it. I like cooking with others, but yeah, it's another thing that sometimes is stressful because, especially if you're cooking something like really fancy or really nice, um, we've been trying out new recipes, basically just like trying a bunch of different new recipes, having fun with it, and just cooking different fun things. I say different fun things. How many times can I say different fun things? But really, no, it's like I don't like eating the same thing over and over again. Like, don't get me wrong, I will eat. There's these particular spicy noodles that at Costco, and yes, Australia does have Costco. But they're so stupidly spicy, and I don't normally do well with spice. I'm not gonna lie to you guys, I am terrible with it. Onion, on the other hand, loves spice, loves it, and I love these noodles, and he can't stand them. And it's the one bit of spicy food that I can handle. I say handle. It's not pretty. It's a mess when I eat those noodles. But I just love eating them. They're so good. I don't know. It just hits a spot in my bones. It feels good. Um. But yeah. Anyway, well, I will eat those noodles, but towards the end, I think there's maybe 20 packets in the box. But towards the end, I'm like, I don't think I want to eat this for a while, so I won't. So I'll go and eat other things. And even in the middle of the box, like, I still have to go and take breaks and eat other things. But I'm pretty sure the last time I had it was this time last year. So yeah, we're definitely due for another box. Because I do eat them about once a year. And so yeah, I definitely would like another box or two. I think it'd be handy just to have them around so that if I did want more, I could have more, but if I didn't have to. But I was really, really wanting them today. So, yeah, no, it's been a year since I had them. And that's what I mean. Like, I'll eat food that I really enjoy, and, like, it's just so good and delicious. But I cannot, like, I'm not someone who can eat, let's say, meat and veg, right? That's something you're supposed to eat to be healthy. And don't get me wrong, like, we have meat and veg in our foods. In our dinners. There was some sort of meat and some sort of vegetable, multiple some sorts of vegetables. But I'm not gonna sit there and eat a steak and roast veggies every night. I could not do that. It would drive me up the wall, especially since I don't like steak. I'm not a huge fan of like chunks of meat. I prefer not. Like I don't want just like meat and potatoes. I'd rather have things like pasta. And actually, a lot of Asian dishes and Latin American dishes, they're things that can never really go wrong with me. They're just so good. I don't know how people don't love them more. I mean, don't get me wrong, like, I know spaghetti's Italian, and it's not just spaghetti that I eat, but, like, any sort of creamy pasta, absolutely love. But, a spaghetti, everyone makes spaghetti, and it's usually okay at best. I don't know. That's not. Okay, some people make really good spaghetti. Don't get me wrong. Some people make really good spaghetti, but it's one of those dishes that I've had my entire life that I'm just. No matter how good you make it, I feel over it. I've just had it so much that I'm kind of a little bit over it. Not gonna lie to you guys. I'm really not. Yeah, not really interested in eating it anymore. But creamy pasta. Oh my goodness. Every day of the week I could. I mean, okay, maybe not every day of the week, but at least once a week. But again, if I had that rest of that variety, I would definitely be eating more of it. But unfortunately, one of my roommates does not eat a lot of like pasta, carbs, I guess carbs, for health reasons, and so yeah, we've reduced the amount of carbs. Or okay, yes, we've reduced the amount of carbs, but we've also we've changed how carbs are in the meals. So if we make, let's say, I don't know, tacos, right, or fajitas or anything like that, you can put all of that on a lettuce leaf, so the rest of us can still have like tortillas and stuff like that, but the roommate who can't really have carbs can put it on a lettuce leaf and still eat it. So it's something that we've found a workaround. We've made it work for us and whatnot, but it's also something that like we don't have pasta dishes anymore. We do have rice dishes because rice is something you cook on its own, and even if you put stuff in it, you can choose not to. I mean, okay, you can make rice over there, and then over here you can make everything that's going to go with the rice. And if you're going to mix it in together, before you do that, you just serve up this roommate who is not going to have the rice, and then you mix it in, and everyone else can have the rice, and it doesn't matter. And I love that. But yeah, it's been so long since we've had pasta. I might have a chat with this roommate and be like, can you let me know when you're not going to be home for dinner, because when you're away, I'm going to be making some sort of creamy pasta, and I don't want you to feel like you can't have it, and you feel bad, or you have to make something else, or you feel excluded. Like, I'll wait for you to leave. Like, you go out and do stuff and things, and that's great. But yeah, let me know so I can make pasta, because I'm desperate for the creamy pasta. I don't know, like a carbonara or something. It's been too long. It's been maybe 4 months, which might not seem like a long time for some people, but I used to eat it like once a week, twice a week. I'd make a big batch when I lived at uni, and I would eat it for lunch and dinner for 2 days. So I'd have 4 meals, but I would also not be the only one eating it. So yeah, make a big meal, and then I would we would eat it over a couple of days, and we didn't mind that. But you can't really do that here. Like I said, I live with a bajillion people. You make what you think is enough to feed probably the whole street, and then you dish up everyone's bowls and you turn around and it's all gone. Like there's no more food. And yeah, like that's another reason why it's so much better to have roommates to cook and clean and I was gonna say spread the groceries, but that's not what I mean. Like, like everyone has their own things, and if you want something that's just for you, you go out and buy it just for you and whatever. But we all pull together for, mostly dinner and breakfast groceries. Just because most of us eat cereal and toast. Like, there's nothing really special that any one of us eats, and if there is, you just buy it for yourself. But yeah, most of us eat the same thing, so it's a lot cheaper and a lot easier to pool funds for that. It makes easier. I was gonna say it makes easier life living, but that's not a proper sentence. What I'm trying to say is it makes life a lot easier to live. 'Cause yeah, when you're pooling like that together and you're taking turns and whatnot, it takes that little bit of stress out of your life. And I there is a lot of stress of living with people. Like if you live with people you don't like, you'll feel a lot of anxiety when they're around. If you live with people that you do like, then maybe not. But yeah, like when there are people, I've lived with people in the past where they are just messy and gross, and you question how this person's even alive, because they should have been killed by some sort of bacteria or something, and somehow they survived it. And those people are stressful to live with. I'm not even gonna try and sugarcoat it. I have lived with someone like that who, yeah, at uni, unfortunately, their room was right across from mine, so anytime they had their door open, it was just like, you could smell when they were home, you could smell when they'd open their door. No matter where you were in the flat, you could smell it. It was really difficult. And we tried chatting with them, we tried, we left post-it notes as well, being like, hey, like, we want to talk to you, and they were just never home after we did try to talk to them, and then we left the post-it notes to say we would like to talk to you again, like, this is a problem, and they just were never home ever. Like, they were just constantly gone. And I have moved out, and most of the other roommates who were a big friend group have moved out, and we tried to be friends with this guy, but he had his own friend group who lived, I don't know if they lived, actually, yeah, I think they lived in a different area. But, you know, we tried. We really did. We tried chatting with him and, you know, oh, we're doing a movie night. Do you want to watch a movie? Stuff like that. Not interested. Cool. Okay. But, yeah, the other friends I'd lived with in another part of the uni, because they moved us around quite a lot. But, yeah, made friends with everyone there. Tried to with this guy. He wasn't really interested, which is fair. You know, you can't force friendship on everyone. But yeah, it made it difficult when we were trying to talk to him about issues. But apparently he's still an issue now, and the new roommates, plus the one who still lives there, have tried to talk to him again. They've tried to talk to the people who run the place where they live. They've done that twice, and they came back saying, oh, tell us again in a couple of weeks if it's still a problem. Like, they didn't offer to do anything. They didn't trying to have a chat with this guy. They didn't offer solutions. They basically just said, in a couple of weeks, if it's still a problem, chat with us. It's been a problem for, I would say, 2 years now, and they've done nothing. And this is not the first time that we have, I say we, that things have come to them about this person, that complaints have been said about this person, and they do nothing. So yeah, also be warned that if you live somewhere like that, fully expect for nothing to happen. But anyway, long ramble and rant over basically trying to say, yes, there are benefits to living with other people, but you can also have some pretty bad horror stories. So, for some positivity, I want to hear good stories. Let me know good stories down below on the things that have been good if you live with other people. For example, I don't have to cook every night. I mean, even when I lived at uni, I didn't have to cook every night, but it was more nights than most, and I didn't like that. The whole thing of, like, having to pick something to eat each week, it was stressful and annoying, and I didn't like it. But yeah, living here, I only have to decide twice a week, which is a lot better. I probably went from twice a week not cooking to now only cooking twice a week, which is fantastic. But also I can live with my cat, which is absolutely wonderful and amazing. She is just the sweetest little creature in the whole entire world, and I love her, and I'm so glad that I can live with her again. So, you know, we have some good stuff going on, good stories, good results and whatnot. So yeah, they can be good. They can be definitely a lot of good. Like I said, it's cheaper. I don't drive, so if my roommates are ever driving somewhere, I'll tag along if I need something from wherever they're going, which is super handy, not having to walk or catch the bus everywhere. I mean, yeah, actually, yeah, no, that's super handy for someone like me. I do want to learn how to drive. I do want to know how to drive. I have my license, my learners, but had them for quite a few years and had to renew my license a few times. So yeah, look, it's scary. It's very scary to drive for me. I know there are some people out there who are like, it's so easy, and I wish it was. I really wish it was for me. It's absolutely a terrifying experience. I think the biggest issue is, you know, there's like those stereotypes about women being bad drivers. I feel them, and it's not because I'm a woman. It's just because I'm me. But I feel those stereotypes. I'm terrible. I have never hit a curb though. I've never hit a sidewalk. I've never hit anything. Yeah, no, actually, that's right. I've never hit anything. I've nearly hit things. I've nearly crashed into things, but I never have. Actually, that's a lie. I hit a tree. I reversed into a tree. Okay, well, okay, I've had one incident where I reversed into a tree by accident. It was a twig tree. It was barely anything, but I felt like crying because I was in my friend's car. So, you know, friend, if you're ever hearing this, I'm still so sorry about that, and I feel terrible every time I think about it. But yeah, there's just, I don't know, I guess, I say that there's nothing traumatic that's happened to me in a car before, but I have seen some pretty bad car accidents, and been in some minor car accidents as a kid, so that's probably why I'm a little bit terrified of driving. It's just something that I don't know, it just gives me a lot of anxiety, and I guess part of that is that other people are on the road and I cannot control them. I don't know what they're doing, I don't know where they're going, people are stupid, and I don't know which ones are stupid and I don't know which ones are safe, so yeah, it's a pretty terrifying experience. But one day I'll get there. One day. To be fair, I also don't have many hours driving, but the goal is to increase those hours, hopefully. I say hopefully, absolutely increase those hours, and get my license eventually. But again, I don't have a car, so there's no real point to it, and I live somewhere where everything's pretty accessible. Yeah, I'm not going to say where I am, but I would say most of the places where you live in Australia can be pretty accessible. Even if you live in a suburb where there's only one bus, that one bus will take you to where all the other buses go. Like, it'll take you to an area, so maybe you do have to take 2 buses instead of just one, but most of Australia is pretty accessible, especially the closer you live to the city. Although I've, thanks to uni and looking at projects around Australia, one of the projects I decided to look at was transportation, and having a look around at the different transport options and what's currently being built and worked on and things like that. It's actually definitely improving quite a bit. For example, the Olympic Games in, is it 2032, I think, is being held in Brisbane, so they are putting in, what do you call it, I was going to say monorail, but that's not what I'm thinking of. They're putting in a new transport system, basically, a little train type thing. I looked at Sydney as well, and Sydney's got, I think that they called it a metro system that has been finished, like part 1 of it, phase 1, phase 2, I don't know, there's different phases of it, and one section of it has been completed. They're just working on, I think, 1 or 2 other parts of the line, maybe? I don't know. It's been a while since I've looked at it. I looked at that when it was still not completed, and I think it completed last year, so it's been a while since I've looked at it. But anyway, yeah, that, Sydney has that, and then Melbourne, I know, has had some pretty good transport for a while. They've got some pretty good stuff. They've got like a tourist monorail, not monorail, I keep saying monorail, I think it's a tram. I think Sydney also has trams now too. Maybe that's what Brisbane's getting, I don't know. But they've all got some pretty good transportation. I've been to and lived in these places. Although I've also lived in Perth, and Perth, maybe the answer for that isn't the same. I've heard people complaining about, like shipping times and things like that, and getting anywhere. I did live there, but I lived there for 18 months a long time ago. So yeah, it was, I lived in one area and I went to school in another, and I had to travel pretty far to get to those places. So yeah, I don't know, maybe not Perth. If you're from Perth, let me know what the transportation is like. Has it gotten better over the years? I know there was talk about a train line going in from one part of from the city to another area that I don't think has a train line. I'm also being ambiguous because I don't want to expose where I was. And I don't know if that happened. I don't know. I think it was something that was going to happen and then didn't, but that's a lot of, places. Anyway, talking about transportation, and we're looking at a wedding venue here. This is me. If you've never met me before, I'll just start rambling on about the most random weird things, like, for example, transportation, when I'm looking at a build that I've just done that is a wedding venue. Anyway, cool. I get very distracted sometimes. I'm sorry, guys. It's It's just my brain. I feel like because my brain has just been going non-stop for so many years, it doesn't really know how to slow down or stop. So yeah, we're working on that. I blame uni, really. Honestly, I blame uni. I went to school, and then straight in from school I went to do my double degree, and then when I finished that I went and did a third degree, and this has been my first year off, so I've not had to study for, I think, 5 or 6 months. I don't really know. I've not been counting, not been keeping track. But it's been a while. And I thought my brain would start to slow down, but I think, I don't know, it's like, I've been using my brain every day for so much, and now it's like, now I don't need to use it as much. I mean, yeah, I still have to use it. Yeah, I still need my brain, but I'm not using it as much. You know, I'm not writing essays and preparing for exams and doing case studies and looking at this, that, and the other, and working in group projects. Oh my goodness, group projects. Now, don't get me wrong, I think group projects are important, especially if you want to have a successful career with people in whatever industry you work in, because you will have to work alongside other people. You will have to rely on other people. You'll have to talk to other people. But my goodness, group work makes me want to rip my eyeballs out. And that's not to say all the time. I've had groups where I'm like, this is brilliant. I love this group. This group is beautiful. I think one of the first groups I ever had at uni was the best group I've ever had. Like, they were fantastic. The second group I had, also pretty good, but from there it kind of started going downhill. You know, sometimes you just get put with people who you just, why do you like this? Why are you doing this? I've had groups who are, like I said, fantastic, absolutely wonderful and fantastic. Where we would meet up every week, and we would chat, and we would get the work done, and we would, like, go in and get it done pretty quickly, so we'd have time to, like, not goof off, but, like, have fun and you know what, do whatever we kind of wanted then. But yeah, I've also had groups where people are like, oh, I'm just going to get AI to write my part, and every time those people give me a heart attack. I would just like to say, if you are working in a group, please do not use AI to do the work for you. I understand that AI can be used to help come up with ideas and point out issues with your, like, flaws within your work. It can summarize things for you. Like, absolutely, it can do so much, but please don't let it do the work for you. Like, you're jeopardizing other people. Like, if you want to do it in your own degree with your own work and whatever, I don't care. Do whatever you want for you. I definitely don't recommend it, but I'm not going to stop you. But if you're working with other people, please, I beg you, do not use AI. The amount of stress I had to convince people to actually do their own work, that just blows my mind. Like, you signed up to uni, you knew what this was going to be like, you knew that you'd have to do the work, and now you're wanting to not do, like, oh, you signed up for this. Please just don't use AI for your work. Don't do it for you. And again, I'm not saying, let's say you're doing an essay on the difference between Japanese and Korean buildings, right? What's the architectural differences? And you go to AI and you say, can you please find me sources, journal articles, architects who are builders in this style, who talk about this style, can you show me sources and whatever? And then you go and you write the essay based on those sources, and you find more sources from those sources and whatever. Beautiful. I have no issue with that. I've even gone to AI to come up with build ideas, being like, hey, what are some ideas for what I could build in The Sims? And these are things like I ask for a list, not pictures, because yeah, that's a whole other side of the story, but I ask for a list of build ideas, and based on the words, I come up with the pictures in my head. I'll Google things and look at Google Images and come up with ideas. But yeah, like I was saying, please don't let AI do the work for you. like, again, it can do the work for you in terms of making your life easier and speedier. You could ask how to be culturally sensitive when you're writing the thing. You could ask how, I don't know, there's so many things you could ask for, but yeah, like I was saying, please don't let it write it for you. It's, you know, if you've got data and you want to put it in a graph and the graph has to be a certain style, I wouldn't trust it, but if you wanted to, I guess you could put the data in there and get it to make a graph for you. You also could do that in things like Excel or Word or PowerPoint, or like, you can do it anywhere. But I do understand if people want to use AI to do that. It's just, yeah, the people who are like, I'll just let AI do it for me, stress me out. And I'm not anti-AI. I want to put that out there. I'm not, you know, there is plenty of reasons to have it. I know that people are using it in like medical fields and stuff like that. I don't know how. I honestly don't know how it's used, but yeah, like I was saying, people use it in fields of where it's kind of necessary. But it is not necessary for you to get your degree. If you were getting your degree by getting a bot to write everything for you, then you haven't earned it. The AI has. And I'm going to be very scared, especially if you are taking on a position such as an engineer or a doctor or a nurse or anything like that. I mean, if you're doing even like, okay, language, right, and you get an AI to translate it for you, at the end of the day, if you fail the in-person exams and whatnot, and the oral speeches and whatnot, if you fail all of that, that's on you, and you're not going to get your degree. And even if you do and you go into the work and you try to be a translator, people are going to be able to tell. So, you know, things like that I'm not to worry about. But like a doctor, if you were a doctor and you're performing surgery on me or treating me for whatever issues I have, and you used AI for everything, I'm going to be very scared. Again, I know that there are uses for it in medical settings. I could not tell you what, but getting your degree is not one. It's something I feel very passionate about. As somebody who's been at uni for basically their entire life, or in schooling for almost their entire life, it's hard work. It is. It's tough. It's difficult. But what you earn is what, like, you earned that. No one else can take that from you. So yeah, anyway, rant and ramble over. I should probably talk about the build a little bit. I keep going to do that and then getting massively sidetracked and not doing that. So yeah, I probably should. So this is it's kind of two wedding venues in one, an indoor venue and an outdoor venue, but it's only got 2 suites. So they are not a bridal and a groom suite. I don't even know if a groom suite is a thing. I know a bridal suite is, but what they are is they're just suites for getting ready. So if you want slightly lighter tones, you can go on the one on the left, and you want slightly darker tones, you can go on the one on the right. And that's the difference between the two. There's nothing else that is to delineate between the two of them. So if you prefer lighter colours, you can go on the left. If you prefer darker colours, you can go on the right. And that is the only difference between the two. But yeah, like I was saying, there is an indoor, I nearly said gym and swimming pool, but that is so not right. An indoor wedding, I've never been married. I don't know, I can't remember the names. There's the reception, and then there's the other one. I don't know. Wherever you get married, that's the big hall on the inside, and also the big undercover area outside, and then the place where you go to eat, that is the little bar off to the side in this little room that we're currently working on, and the little bar and seating area just to the side of the outdoor wedding venue. What's the other word? Reception, and that's gonna bother me so much. I don't know, but I'm sure you guys get what I mean. So yeah, like I was saying, if you guys want to get married here, there is an indoor option, an outdoor option, but there's only 2 suites, so that when you and your partner are getting married here, it's just you and your partner. There's not another wedding going on, so there's no like crossover with different guests and whatnot. And and no like people pretending to be in one wedding and sneaking into another or whatever. It's all just one thing. There's nowhere for your other guests to stay here, but we can pretend there's like a place down the road that they stay at. Also, I did realize close to the end there's no indoor bathroom, or outdoor bathroom for that matter. There's no bathroom. The only two bathrooms here are in the suites, so if you do download the slot, you might have to put another bathroom out here. I don't know where you would put it, but there is no bathroom here. I mean, I probably could have put it in the corner. We're moving around too much for me to be able to say, but if you are standing at the altar and you face away from the altar, outside there is a big tree. I could probably sneak one into the left of that tree, but unfortunately I forgot and I did not, and it was something that I didn't realize until it was a bit too late. So yeah, apologies if your guest needs to go to the bathroom. Also, I did put up these two portraits, and yes, it's a man and a woman, but I'm just pretending that this couple is getting married, and they do like, maybe they do like a portrait of the couple who are getting married, or maybe it's like the people who own this place, so you know, they got married here and they own it, and yeah. But anyway, I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye guys.